Hello, friends. I haven't been on YouTube for a long time. I have been writing a lot in the WhatsApp group. The experience is only, but with my practice and all that, I have never had a chance to record videos again and all that. But now that I have retired, I have great opportunity now to share the spiritual experiences with the world, and hopefully this will encourage people to take the spiritual path. So solo hikes is what I have chosen to do after the retirement, and is one of the best things that ever happened to me. Solo hikes are so wonderful because you are in the middle of nature, and being in the nature itself is very rewarding because it takes you away from Sansar. As people who don't know the word meaning of Sansar is a Hindi word, Sanskrit word. Uh, the meaning means it comes from the word Sansaran. Sansaran means anything that moves. Anything that moves is Sansar. People move, earth and the moon moves, sun moves, galaxies move. The whole physical world moves. But along with that, your mind moves also. Your thoughts move also. Your emotions move. Your convictions, your beliefs, everything moves. So Sansar is not just the physical world that you see outside, is much more than that. So Sansar is a word that I will be using frequently, but in reference to not just the physical world outside, but also its reflection onto your mind. And that mind where the thoughts and emotions and beliefs are moving, that also I considered as a part of Sansar. So Sansar is outside where you actually react with people. In physical world outside, you are demanded some kind of attention, some kind of awareness, some kind of response. But when you are in the woods, there is no response needed. So it puts your mind at ease, absolutely, and goes down to the peace level. And in peace springs the flower of spirituality. Peace is an absolute must. And as you go, as you spend more and more time in the woods, you will realize that you are just part of that whole atmosphere. You are no different than the birds flying. You are no different than the trees which are swaying in the wind. You're no different than the sunshine, which is available to everyone. So solo hikes is one of the best things that I have ever done in my life. And automatically the spirituality makes you choose all these things. So as I was on a solo hike this morning, and as I was going deeper and deeper, suddenly the tune started rhyming within me. Is one of the beautiful Hindi songs by Mukesh in the past. And somehow it came up in my mind. And this is how it goes. Tumhe Zingi ke ujale mubarak, अंधेरे हमें आज रास आ गए हैं. As you know, my mind is always tuned into spirituality. Suddenly it started seeing the meaning of these words. I hope that's what the writer of the song meant, that because it's one of the highest meaning of these songs. But it definitely made sense to me from spiritual point of view. If you can understand and I try to explain to you the meaning of these words is very profound. And when you go into spirituality, and when you are in looking at the whole scenario with the spiritual angle, the meaning of this song, it changes completely. Because normally song goes like, Tumhe Zindagi ke ujale mubarak, अंधेरे हमें आज रास आ गए हैं. तुम्हें पाके हम खुद से दूर हो गए थे, तुम्हें छोड़कर अपने पास आ गए हैं. Now, I don't know what the meaning stood in the movie, and it sounds like a sad song, but to me, it's not a sad song. When it says that Tumhe Zingi ke ujale Mubarak, it's a very, very deeply, it carries a very deep meaning. If you really consider, the ujala means the light, which is outside, directly or indirectly, ultimately it comes from the sun. When the sun comes and it lights up the whole world, and in that light, everything becomes visible. You and I are visible. Him and her are visible. This and that is visible. So sunlight exposes the duality, and it opens up the world of duality for us. So Tumhe Zindagi ke ujale Mubarak. The guy who has written this beautiful ghazal, he's saying, enough is enough. Enough of this light that you call light. Hame zindagi ke, tumhe zindagi ke ujale Mubarak. Hame to अंधेरे हमें आज रास आ गए हैं. That means I am getting used to the darkness. You can live the life of light. I'm used to getting the darkness. So when you go within, this is what happens. All your mind, all your thoughts, all your beliefs are created from your impressions, from your exposure to this world, which is lighted up by the sun. And when everything is lighted up by the sun, all these experiences are created and they get into your mind, and mind records it. So this mind with the world, everything is lighted up. But there is a lot more than this. This is not enough. Sansar is not all that we are here for. There is something else beyond, which is a lot more powerful, lot more pervasive, lot more expansive than what we see. What we don't see is much bigger than what we see. And that's why the sound says, Tumhe Zindagi ke ujale Mubarak, andhere hame aaj ras aa gaye hain. So if somebody who is meditating, somebody who is spiritually on a path to go within, invariably, what happens is thousands and thousands of thoughts greet him. And all these thoughts dance like in front of him. But as you are becoming aware of these thoughts, and that's what meditation is about, being aware of what is going on. Once you close your mind, once you close your eyes, the mind is still filled with all these thoughts and beliefs and convictions and your interactions with this person and that person, what is going to happen in the future, what is going on in the past, all in the form of thoughts. So thoughts, I would consider as an experience of this sansar, which is lighted up by the light. But as you become aware of these thoughts, the awareness is coming from within. It is transcendental. Awareness is coming from darkness. If you try to go within, there is definite presence of awareness. At some point, your thoughts will start simmering down and the quality will start getting better. Quantity of the thoughts will start going down. But one definite entity will be always there, and that's the awareness. But the source of awareness is not light, it is darkness. There is a big difference between darkness and the light. Light exposes the duality. The darkness nullifies the duality, because in darkness, everything becomes one. You may have a Picasso painting, millions of dollars in your living room, and you may be so proud of it. As soon as the sun goes down, light goes away. Your Picasso painting has no value. Your girlfriend may be very beautiful, but when the light goes out in dark, everybody's the same. So I called the darkness the equalizer. And that's where the consciousness is hidden. So sooner or later in meditation, you have to start getting used to this darkness. And since I have been into spirituality for such a long time, the darkness welcomes me. Darkness is something I cherish, because in darkness, there is a light. And that light is the real light of awareness, which is your third eye that opens up. So now, as I'm walking on a beautiful trail, and there is a beautiful a sunny morning, and there is a winter 10, 20 degrees outside, the lake is all frozen, and the cold wind is rubbing against my face. And I realize that there is so much beauty around. There is no one there to cherish this beauty. The beauty is a beautiful thing, is that aesthetic sense, only human beings have it. The birds and the bees and the animals don't have that. They don't necessarily enjoy the beauty of the world. The aesthetic sense is a gift of the consciousness to us. When you see the rocks and the minerals and the sun and the moon and the wind, these are all mundane things that even animals see. But what we see, they don't see. We see is the beauty. And whoever can see the beauty out of all this non-alive matter is a fortunate person. I have a friend who told me he's decided to go to Iceland. So I told him, when are you going to go? He said, in April. I said, yeah, well, we were there in September and we could not see a lot of things. Maybe you will be able to see. You will see a lot of flowers because April is a springtime. And I had heard that the mountains of Iceland gets filled with lupines and all these seasonal flowers. You will be able to see it. And who knows, normally Aurora Borealis lasts till March, I would say. But maybe if you're lucky, you'll be able to see in April. But I was surprised at his response. He says, those are the two things I don't care about. I said, what do you mean? He says, I don't care about flowers. I don't care about Aurora Borealis. Yeah, waterfalls, all those things I enjoy. But so I felt sad. I felt sad that he cannot see the beauty in the flowers. He cannot see the beauty in Aurora. But that is an inside gift of the consciousness to you. So to be able to appreciate the beauty, you realize the grace that has been gifted to us from the consciousness. I always say in the world of spirituality, 2 + 2 is not 4. Because 4, anyone can answer. Even a monkey, you can teach him 2 + 2 is 4. But in spirituality, 2 + 2 is 5 or 6 or infinite. Any number you want to put it, definitely don't put 4, because the world is not as it seems. It is a lot more than that. And the beauty draws you up towards the consciousness, because consciousness is godliness. Godliness is all around us, but we fail to see it because we fail to see the beauty. So seeing the beauty in the natural trails in this freezing cold winter is a gift given to you. Go out, enjoy on the solo hike, see the beauty of the nature. But that's not where it ends. After seeing the beauty, you elevate yourself, meditate, rise higher, and you reach to the godliness. So the godliness is hidden in that darkness, because godliness is uniform, Advait. It's non-dual. Non-dual means it eliminates the duality. The non-dual state of consciousness does not differentiate between a god and a demon, a good person and a bad person, virtuous person and virtueless person, day and night. There are no differences. Everything is under one umbrella of non-dual consciousness. Then that's why Andhere hame aaj ras aa gaye hain. It really started making sense to me that this song is a spiritual reflection of somebody who has gone within. So as I was going within, I wanted to know more about its lyrics. So I flipped around the YouTube channel and I started looking for, and the sound in the voice of Mukesh, who is the original singer. Suddenly I came across, it was very interesting, a small talk by Murari Bapu. Murari Bapu, he's known to use these Hindi songs but really get a beautiful spiritual meaning out of it. And somehow his mind and my mind probably were working synchronously. And he has also commented on this particular song. Tumhe Zindagi ke ujale mubarak. I give this light to you. Andhere hame aaj रास आ गए हैं. I'm used to like darkness. I enjoy this darkness. I'm happy with this darkness. You can take all the light of the world that you want. I'm happy with this darkness. But this is not where it stops. Then the singer says, तुम्हें छोड़कर तुम्हें पाके हम खुद से दूर हो गए थे, तुम्हें छोड़कर अपने पास आ गए हैं. When तुम्हें पाके, when I had you, I was away from me. Atma is you. Consciousness is you. That's yours. Tumhe paake, everybody's running after gaining something, gaining money, fame, recognition, girlfriend, boyfriend, all those fame people are running after. And there is nothing wrong with that. You run whatever you want, but don't get involved in it all the way. Don't get lost in it. तुम्हें पाके हम खुद से दूर हो गए थे. Don't let these achievements, don't let these enjoyments, don't let these ownerships ruin you so much that you lose the contact with your soul. तुम्हें पाके हम खुद से दूर हो गए थे, तुम्हें छोड़कर अपने पास आ गए हैं. Sansar is like that. When you give up the sansar, you find your soul. And nobody's saying walk away from sansar. And a lot of stupid people go into the Himalaya mountains. They walk away from their family. They walk away from their wife, children who are depending on them. They give up everything and go into the Himalaya mountains. That's not what spirituality is about. You have to realize the fakeness of sansar. You have to realize that this sansar gives you a lot of promises. It cannot deliver. You can have a lot of desires in sansar. How many desires get fulfilled? Very few. Out of 100, maybe 5. But 95 desires don't get fulfilled. And you know what? After fulfilling the 5 desires, you're not going to be happy about it. You'll be still unhappy because 95 desires remain unfulfilled. So when you really see the fakeness, meaninglessness of this sansar, you realize that is not the path for me. My path is towards my soul, my consciousness. And when you realize and start your journey, the darkness is what will come first. But that's why the singer says, Andhere hame aaj ras aa gaye hain. You have to start getting used to the darkness, because that darkness is the holy grail. That darkness is the uniformity. That darkness is the non-dual state. And that inner light is going to come up, which is going to be worth millions of suns. That one sun is nothing. So as I was listening to Murari Bapu, and he again picked up a few things, but then he drifts away. So I went further deep into the lyrics of this song, and each and every song really made some sense to me. The stanza says, तुम्हारी वफा से शिकायत नहीं है, निभाना तो कोई रवायत नहीं है. I'm not very good at Urdu words. I looked up the meaning, and then the meaning really coming out so beautifully. It says that तुम्हारी वफा से शिकायत नहीं है. Sansar gives you a lot of promises. So the singer says, I'm okay. I'm not complaining. He understands that these promises are fake. Sansar promises a lot of things. Sansar promises infinity, immortality. It cannot deliver. Tumhari wafa se shikayat nahi hai. Granted, you are faithful to me, but nibana to koi ravayat nahi hai. Ravayat is a beautiful word, like a tradition. Just because you are faithful to me doesn't mean I have to be faithful to you. I can break away anytime I want. And because he has reached to that realization that all these promises of the sansar, all this faithfulness of the sansar is fake. A lot of these name brands give you promise that, okay, eat such and such ice cream, eat such and such candy. It will, I promise you the pleasure, but always followed by pleasure comes pain. I like this beautiful girl. Behind the beauty comes the ugliness. The real reality of her nature shows up later on. And we have been through all these things. We never learned. But the singer has learned. तुम्हारी वफा से शिकायत नहीं है, निभाना तो कोई रवायत नहीं है. I don't have to get along with this. I don't have to believe your faithfulness. I have a right to walk away from it. So walking away from that sansar comes only at the intellectual level. You realize that sansar is fake. And when you walk away at the mind level, that's real sannyas. Even if you go to Himalayan mountains, you're not gonna, that's not a true sannyas. That's only giving up the physical world. That anyone can do it. When you internal realization is the real sannyas. So as the stanza goes further, it says again more beautiful things. After this, तुम्हारी वफा से शिकायत नहीं है, निभाना तो कोई रवायत नहीं है. जहां तक कदम आ चहे आ गए हैं, जहां तक कदम आ सके आ गए हैं, तुम्हें छोड़कर अपने पास आ गए हैं. जहां तक कदम आ सके आ गए हैं, अंधेरे हमें आज रास आ गए हैं. I have taken many steps in my life. I have made many efforts in my life, but there is a limit because my intellect is rising, my wisdom is rising. I'm realizing that I am going in the wrong direction. So as long as I could walk, I have done it. Jahan tak kadam aa sake aa gaye hain. He has given ultimatum to the sansar that, okay, enough is enough. Andhere hame aaj ras aa gaye hain. I have started liking the darkness which is within me. It is the holy grail. This is where my path is, because your path is wrong. The path of sansar is wrong. Even if you achieve things, you still have to give up everything. Whatever you achieve was never yours and never will be yours. At the end of the day, you will be walking away from it. And when the time comes to leave, not even a single penny comes with in your pocket. What does that mean? That whatever you think you own is never yours. If there's something that is taken away from you, how can you call it yours? You are a temporary holder of it. So that means it was never given to you. Sansar is something that's hold on to it. Sansar is like a garden. It allows you to smell the flowers, but you cannot walk away with the flowers. Flowers have to stay here. The same thing, sansar gives you everything temporarily. At the end of the day, when you leave, everything you have to leave behind. Even your social security gets recycled. None of the things will stay. So this is a bad business. If somebody is a smart-minded, a very savvy business person will even understand that investment into the sansar is futile. You spend your whole life. You spend your whole sweat and blood. And after that, you achieve something that you think you own it, and it's taken away. So these are fake promises of the sansar. So the singer is fed up with this. That's why he's saying that jahan tak kadam aa sake aa gaye hain. Andhere hame aaj ras aa gaye hain. I'm not going to walk any further. I'm tired. I'm tired of running after this murukjal. Murukjal is the mirage in the desert. You promised me the water. I kept running and running and running, but I have never reached anywhere. I have never reached to the real water which can satisfy my thirst. So, andhere hame aaj ras aa gaye hain. What a beautiful wordings, especially from the spiritual point of view. It really puts you in the stratosphere of the spiritual sky. So the next stanza is also beautiful. चमन से चले हैं ये इल्जाम लेकर, बहुत ही लिए हम तेरा नाम लेकर. चमन से चले हैं ये इल्जाम लेकर, बहुत जी लिए हम तेरा नाम लेकर. Let's face it, Sansar is God. We should be waking up in the morning and take the name of God, but we don't. Even if we do, it's fake. Sansar, materialistic gains, people, objects, situations, this is what we are after. It takes less than a fraction of a second to wake up and start thinking about Sansar. What do I have to do? How much money I have to make? How much we have to pay? How many people I have to deal with? All this mental transaction starts going. So it says, तुम्हारी वफा से शिकायत नहीं है. And Sansar is very faithful. It always is there when you want it. It never steps back. What kind of wafa, what kind of faithfulness is that? It's very faithful. You may want to collect, say, baseball cards, and suddenly you think that you have everything, and suddenly a new baseball card comes in. You want to grab that. You're playing with toys. So many toys you have. Suddenly somebody gives you a new toy and you're ready to go. You're fed up with such and such things, events in life, you're getting bored. Suddenly a new event comes in and you want to go on that rock concert or entertainment night, whatever. Sansar is very faithful in creation of all these things that will entice you into the sansar. So if you really understand from that point, this line is beautiful. It says, चमन से चले हैं ये इल्जाम लेकर, बहुत जी लिए हम तेरा नाम लेकर. From the moment I woke up till I went to sleep, and even in my dreams, I was thinking of Sansar. What did you give me? Nothing. Nothing that I can take away with me. So you are blaming me. Fine. And Sansar is gonna object. When you walk away from Sansar, doesn't like it. 90% of your friends will walk away. These were the friends who were giving you company in a couple of drinks here and there, traveling here and there, doing this and this and that, all these activities. All these activities of Sansar, they were your friends. Entertainment, they were your friends. Eating, drinking, smoking, drug, whatever, you had friends. But that's something, when you walk away, they're gonna blame you. They're gonna break away their friendship. They're gonna withdraw their companionship, and it is gonna happen. But that's why the singer says, I have woken up. चमन से चले हैं ये इल्जाम लेकर बहुत जी लिए हम तेरा नाम लेकर. My faith in Sansar is fading. Enough is enough. So next line is beautiful also. मुरादों की मंजिल से दूर आ गए हैं अंधेरे हमें आज रास आ गए हैं. Somebody who is on spiritual path only can understand this. मुरादों की मंजिल से दूर आ गए हैं. If somebody understands, tell me. Murado is desires. Murado ki manzil. Manzil means the last step. Enough is enough. There is a very, very tight compartment between the field of spirituality and the field of Sansar. In Sansar, you cannot enter without desires. You can enter, but will be meaningless. If you don't have desire, Sansar doesn't care for you. Do you have desire for food? Sansar will bring all these delicious, unhealthy foods for you. You have desire for money? Sansar will create opportunities for you to keep working till you die for the money. Your desire is fame? Sansar will keep on creating situations, Facebook, clicks, how many returns, how many likes, how many dislikes. It will keep on creating your followerships, this and that, all that. So all these things require desires. If you don't have desires, all these things are meaningless for you. But somehow everybody has desires. So they don't see anything wrong with it. And that's where the problem is. We are so brainwashed by the sansar that desires, to have desires is like a normal thing. But do all the desires get satisfied? No. If you have a desire for something, 1,000 others will have desire for the same thing. The number of dollar bills which are printed is limited, but the people who want to grab them are limitless. Everybody wants dollar bills. Friction is inevitable. Fight is inevitable. Crookedness of the mind to make more and more money is inevitable. To accumulate after all this fight, ego is inevitable. Not able to accumulate enough, inferiority complex is inevitable. All these complexes of the mind, all these frictions lead to stress, restlessness, and absence of peace. But all that originates from one thing, murad. Murad is desire. मुरादों की मंजिल से दूर आ गए हैं अंधेरे हमें आज रास आ गए हैं. So the singer has realized that desire is not the way. When you have absence of desires, what is left behind is you, your soul, your consciousness. And that you don't even have to desire. You automatically gain entrance into the world of consciousness. When you have no desires left, means you have no sansar left. If you realize sansar is nothing but reflections from outside. So when intellectually you realize, when you deeply meditate, the consciousness sends a messenger to you. That messenger is the wisdom. The wisdom makes you realize that it's the desire, and they are my desires. I have no reason to hate sansar. Sansar is only doing what I desire. You see millions of flocking the temples. Why do you think the temples exist? Because everybody wants just to throw a few $100s and want to reach the moksha. They're stupid, but that fosters a huge business. And it's fine for the temples, but the desire to reach to the moksha is a desire also. Osho always says, धन चाहो या ध्यान चाहो, whether you want money or meditation. पद चाहो या परमात्मा चाहो. Pad means some position, a high position in the society. या परमात्मा, or even if you want God himself. चाह ही संसार है. चाह is desire. Chaha, murad is desire, is sansar. We have created this sansar out of our own desires. Only when you realize this truth, you will realize that going within is the ultimate path of spirituality. And when you realize the futility of desires, futility of having the desire itself is your fault. And when you go within, when you become thoughtless in this beautiful environment that meditation creates for you, the darkness starts talking to you. Darkness starts being meaningful to you. अंधेरे हमें आज रास आ गए हैं. So look at the path of spiritual seeker that he has said that तुम्हे जिंदगी के उजाले मुबारक, अंधेरे हमें आज रास आ गए हैं. तुम्हें पाके हम खुद से दूर हो गए थे, तुम्हें छोड़ के हम अपने पास आ गए हैं. So listeners, please pay attention to this beautiful song, but more than the song, pay the attention to this beautiful journey, the spiritual journey. Only you can take it. I can only put you on the right path, but ultimate journey, you have to do it. You have to go within, realize where your mistakes are. It's your mental knots. You tied them and only you can open them. So go within, and there is nothing but beautiful darkness waiting for you. But that's not darkness. That is the first glimpse of light. Sanatan light which never shuts off. The light of awareness. Have a good day. Thank you.